16 days are left in the regular NBA season. Tank mode is in full effect. We got to adjust. Let's go. Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Taco Tuesday. Got a small little 5-game slate on our hands here on Tuesday. Yesterday's picks went pretty well. Early video, the unofficial ones, we went 2-1. Hit the under on Cole Anthony, under 15.5 points for 11. Over Aaron Gordon, rebounds over 5.5. We hit that one, and then we missed Lauri Markkanen over 6.5 rebounds, which is kind of shocking with Mobley being hurt, but that is what it is. And then in the main video, we hit Jeff Green over 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He had 19. DeMar DeRozan over 23.5 points. He had 37. Wendell Carter Jr., we pivoted midway through the video. I'm glad we did. Over 7.5 points. He had 8. I hope you guys got in on that. Didn't do the full game. And then the one I mentioned about that I got to do better. Desmond Bane and Andrew Wiggins, I recommended the over on both those point rebounds, assists, but I also brought up the, if the blowout, they probably don't get there. They didn't. They both didn't get there. So we got to adjust fire here on teams that are just, I feel like there's going to be a blowout. This time of year, it's more rampant than others with teams tanking. We just got to either play first half only on those teams or just completely not play them at all. And that's something I got to do better. When I feel that, don't recommend those plays and, understand that. So I think there's a couple this early slate here when I'll go through it and I'll talk about it. I think there's a couple plays that the numbers match up, but still I don't think they are the best candidate to play a full game or, in tanking mode. So whatever you want to call it. So I'll mention those as we go through it here. So with that, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel. If any of the information I give you helps you in your research process, appreciate each and every one of you. And let's just get after this thing and talk about it. All right, as you can see, Prizepicks NBA desktop version is up here. We got 3 plays I'm going to talk about that I like, and then I'm going to talk about a few plays that I would have liked if I feel like the game was going to be competitive, but I'm personally going to stay off them because I don't feel like it is going to be competitive. However, if you feel like it is and you want to jump on them, then I'll tell you my recommendation, but I'm not personally going to play them for the due reason of I don't feel like the game is going to be that competitive here. So again, we got 3 plays here. If you do not have a Prizepicks account, make sure you head on over there and use that promo code DFSArmy and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. The link is in the description below. All right, first 2 plays we're going over assists here. The first one we're going Giannis. 5 assists, and I'm going to go the under here. Under 5 assists for Giannis. He's only went over 5 assists in 2 of his last 10 games. Going up against Philly here. The ranked 5th in assists allowed. This is a very competitive game. They get Drew Holiday is back. Serge Ibaka is going to play. Giannis is playing. So they're full tilt here on both sides. Both these teams are going to play to win here. But I think Giannis is going to have to do more on the scoring side, and with Drew handling the ball more, I just don't think we're going to get the over with Giannis assists here. So I'm going to go the under here. The juice on the under, the line is at 5.5 at a lot of books out there. So that under on the 5.5 is around minus 145 on juice on the under here. Again, he's only went over this number 2 of his last 10 games. So it's something that we can definitely look at. That he's not hitting at a very consistent level, and I just feel like he's gonna have to do more on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. Where I think the big thing with assists with Giannis is when the pace in the games are pace up games, but games like this where Philly is ranked 28th in pace, almost dead last, and it's a lot of half court stuff. It's a lot harder for him to get assists, and that's kind of feel like the under here is the play. So we're gonna go under Giannis. 5 assists. Next one we're going to go to is we're going to come over here in the same game, but we're going to go the over here on James Harden, 8.5 assists here. Quite the opposite. Milwaukee's ranked 23rd in assists allowed. He's going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit. He's only went over this number in 5 of his last 10 games here, but the juice is on the over at around minus 130, minus 135, depending on the book that you're looking at. In a close game like this, going up against Drew Holiday and Giannis and Middleton, some other guys are going to have to hit some shots. Maxi's going to have to hit those threes. Tobias Harris is going to hit those threes. That's how you beat Milwaukee. If those guys' shots start raining down, they should do really well here in the assist thing. So we're going to go over this 8.5 in a competitive game environment. Harden's not going to be out there, just going to be out there and be able to just take the game over. He's going to need to get his teammates involved here. So in a game that, could be, one of the final games we see in the Eastern Conference here, it should be a fun one to watch, and especially a competitive game environment. But 8.5, I'm just going to take the over here. Again, he's hit it in only 5 of his last 10 times, but I feel like he's going to hit it here. And it looks like a lot of people are taking this over. Like I said, -130, -135 for the over on Harden. The next one we're going to go to points, rebounds, and assists, and we're going to take it under here. And we're going to take Saddiq Bey under 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, if we go back and look at Saddiq Bey, he's only hit this number over in 3 of his last 10 games. He's went under it in 7 of his last 10. My biggest worry here with Detroit in general, and kind of what I talked about in the beginning of this video, is I do worry a little bit about, a blowout here. Brooklyn is favored by 13.5, 229.5 over under. If Detroit can keep this close, Saddiq Bey can go off at any time, but I feel like it's in a game environment like this, if he sees any bit of Kevin Durant on him, he is screwed. I just don't think they're going to get there, honestly. I just really don't. And I feel like the unders here. Another thing that I think hurts him a lot too is with Marvin Bagley sliding into the starting lineup as well. That hurts his shots at all because Marvin Bagley chucks the ball. Marvin Bagley started the game against the Knicks here where he went 11 for 14. Saddiq Bey only shot the ball 10 times. Marvin Bagley's taken a lot of that usage. He started against Portland back here on the 31st where he did go over, but Marvin Bagley started that game, and took, a few shots. But again, we're talking about Portland. Portland's one of the worst teams in the NBA right now as they are in full tank mode. But we can just go back and look some of the games that he struggled with. He struggled against good teams, only put up 22 points, rebounds, and assists back on March 15th against Miami. Clippers only put up 21, Boston 20, Chicago 20. So a good team like Brooklyn, I think he's going to struggle here, and that's why I'm going to lean the under for Saddiq Bey. Just with, again, Bagley moving in that starting lineup, going to take some shots away from him. Saddiq Bey is a three-point sniper. That is what that dude does. He just chucks threes. Is out there a ton, but again, his shot volume is going to go way down. I don't think we're going to see the 17 or 20 shots. It's going to be more down to the 8 to 10 shots. And he's shooting really bad. The Atlanta game here, he shot 3 for 13. The Washington game, he shot 3 for 11. The Knicks, he shot 4 for 10. So he's not coming in good form, coming up against a tough team. I think it's just an under all day long here for Saddiq Bey. So those are the 3 plays I do like. If I had to rank them here, I probably would rank them as I gave them. Giannis under 5 assists, Harden at over 8.5, and Saddiq Bey under 26.5. Now let me talk about the ones that, if you felt this game was going to stay close with Detroit, I'm not recommending these plays. I just want to talk about them because the numbers, kind of point towards, that, Isaiah Stewart, right? Isaiah Stewart should be a good play for points, rebounds, and assists, but more for me is rebounds, right? Rebounds 8.5. I feel like if the game stayed close, this is a great play. He's went over this in 5 of his last 6 games. He's going up against Brooklyn, 16th in rebounds allowed, 26th in offensive rebounds, 8th in defensive rebounds. The juice is actually on the over on -120. The numbers all match up, going and playing against Brooklyn here. But, I just worry about the minutes. Is he going to see a full, onslaught of minutes here? When he played Miami, he only played 21 minutes. And he only put up 8 rebounds. And if we see something similar to that, he did get in foul trouble that game where he had 5 fouls, which he can easily do here. And he's going up against Drummond. That's the only worry here. Maybe when they look at fantasy points at the half, we can get that in the full card. But again, this is where the numbers match up. But my gut's saying if it's going to blow out, it's just a riskier play. And with what we had last night, when we talk about Wiggins and Bane, I just kind of want to stay away from this just in case something like that happens. So again, the numbers will say, hey, this is the play for Isaiah Stewart, the over 8.5 rebounds. If you want to play it, by all means, go for it. I'm just going to stay away from it. because I am worried about, that happening. Brooklyn gets up heavy early, and then who knows how the minutes are going to come, like with Detroit, especially Detroit. So same can be said about Cade Cunningham. If you look at him with assists, right? 6.5 assists have been money for a long time, right? I mean, he's just completely hit assists in almost every game here. At 6.5, he's hit this number, quite a few times. He's hit it in the last 6 out of 6 games, 7 of his last 10. He's hit this. Brooklyn's ranked 11th in assists allowed. But again, I worry about the blowout. He's only put up 6 and 2 assists in the 2 games that he's played Brooklyn. And even though if you look at the numbers and how well he's been playing, that is a real concern. And so the numbers are like, hey, let's play this. The juice is on the under on this one, though, unlike Isaiah Stewart, where it's at minus 125 on the under at 6.5 assists. And that's the concern there. So those are the 2 plays that we're going to worry about on the unders here. Again, Cade Cunningham, I feel like the game's going to blow out. Like, again, if it is close, I want the over on this. If it's close, I want Isaiah Stewart's over. That's a decision that you have to make. I'm just giving you my analysis on this. But that's one of the things that, at this time of year with the last 10 days in full effect, we have to worry about that. So I'm going to stay away personally. I just wanted to bring up some research and numbers that I saw. And those are the decisions that you have to make when you're pulling the trigger on some of these plays. 13 days left in the NBA season, things get absolutely crazy, and you have to keep that in mind, okay? So with that, again, those are the 3 official plays that we have. Talked about those few Detroit plays and the worry about the game blowing out, even though the numbers say take the overs. We're going to take the Saddiq Bey under on this one because the numbers line up and also how the game, I think, is going to play. That's why I'm going to lean the under on that one. So, yeah, hopefully we get a full card here. And, again, it's only a 5-game slate. Taco Tuesday. You'll be curious to see who is the taco today. I'm assuming it's going to be one of these guys in this Philly-Milwaukee game. But we'll see how it all ends out here. So, with that, hope you guys have a fantastic morning. I'm going to put out some more videos here throughout the day. And I'll see you guys on that flip side, man. Deuces.